Hello, my name is Bob, and I am the greatest idiot who does not know how to think. Because only a person with poor grades in logic could do what I did. Quite early, I realized I was interested in girls. No, not in the sense of reflections on sexual identity. It's just at 12, my interest as a kid has grown into something completely different. More unequivocal. This effect was especially entrenched from the moment when I found some special magazines of my older brother. Yes, we have 2 kids in the family. Me, the youngest, 14-year-old, and pimpled teenager, and my brother. He had already graduated from the high school and entered the university. And he is also the pride of our parents, because at 19, he looks like a Greek god from the murals. And he's pretty smart. And they still doubt me. Despite the age difference, me and my brother get along very well. Well, kinda. I didn't complicate his life. I sometimes told my parents he was not the one to blame, and he shared a piece of advice with me, including adult magazines. Although he was having fun with that, but I didn't understand anything then. And his brother, with his reputation, helped me a lot in school affairs. The teachers remembered him very well, and sometimes he agreed with them about my schools, so that they would not reach my parents. And the kids, even the youngest, simply respected him. Well, who studied with him at the same time, so bullies never threatened me, though I looked just like a classic whipping boy. Yeah, unlike my athletic brother, my appearance was not so good. Teenage acne, not a good eyesight, and I had to wear glasses. I was thin, on the verge of a foul. Anyway, a perfect nerd, typical one. True, despite such a dubious appearance of a character who is doomed to be a virgin all his life, my studies were not really normal. They were even poor. My friends were the same, loser role models. Not brilliant students, not an outstanding appearance, but we had fun together. And anyway, losers should stick together. Besides, I personally did not give up hope to grow from a caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. My brother did it, but they showed me his kids' photos, although the further, the less chance I had. Anyway, I did not succeed with girls, and I wanted to go farther and stronger. I honestly tried to date a classmate, and she even agreed, though, in my opinion, she did not expect it from herself. But I had flowers as an argument, a shirt ironed by my mom, and the advice, be persistent, from my dad. She simply had no choice to refuse. Just kidding. But we did not succeed, because I was interested in some other things. She wanted to walk holding hands, some poetry, maybe the first romantic kiss. And I, because I was 14 and I often read my brother's magazines, wanted some other things. So we were different, yeah. Moreover, my eyes were looking in the crowd of high school students, and not of the same age as me who had recently grown out of dolls. Of course, I understood that there was definitely nothing I could hope for. Where I am and where they are, young cheerleader goddesses and future models. But it didn't stop me from watching and dreaming. What I was doing, staring at them. And I can't say I had any specific preferences. The guys will understand me, I hope. The fact of the girl before my eyes was important. The school locker room has long attracted me with its respects, especially when high school students were hiding in there. My peers in this regard, as I said, were much inferior to them and could not boast of all kinds of reliefs. So in my fantasies and dreams, I was not at all alone. Even some handsome athletes from my class also looked at the older girls. Not that I liked the idea of staring. I didn't even know then that it was possible, but I honestly tried to at least imagine. And one day, my brother, looking at my torment, suggested an excellent idea, as it seemed to me, a scheme. At first, I was indignant about the fact that all this is somehow wrong, dishonest. And so, what's there so my brain did not have time to think of, because my brother said, either I am silent and find out where heaven is, or I can go away with my whining. You won't believe it, but with conscience, we managed that one in just a couple of seconds, and I started to heed the wisdom of the elders. It turned out there are 2 ways to the school locker room. One legal, through the door, and the second a secret one. The mysterious word ventilation disconnected me from the reality for 3 days, until I finally broke, and he demanded to show where was the entrance and exit. My brother said that in the back room next to the gym, there was one small door for the repairmen. You can get into it with the help of a closet or comrades if you want to introduce them to the beautiful show. And then a direct path to the women's locker room itself. The desired hatch is marked with a marker as a gift to the younger generation. He only warned that the passages there are very small and someone larger than me cannot fit. And you still cannot go there in a crowd, only one at a time. I was not going to admit I was a little pervert, so I decided to scout everything alone. I desperately deserved the punishment in order to stay longer at school, and then secretly ran away from everyone into the same pantry and rushed into the adventure. Of course, when the locker room was empty, but the main thing was to explore the path. I did it. So, with a clear conscience, I got out and went home. On my way, I just went to the store and bought my favorite chips for my brother, as a gratitude. The main action was planned a little later. I had to find the opportunity so that I no longer had classes, and the elders, on the contrary, only went into the locker room. And such a time was found, but I had to wait a couple of weeks. At the appointed time, I again crept in a known way into the locker room and stuck there. I will not describe what I saw. I will only say it was worth everything. I even regretted that I was a gentleman and couldn't record everything on video, so I had to just remember and look. And then the girls went away, and I started backing away. But there was a problem. My body reacted to the girls in a strictly understandable way. I turned over for the convenience and got stuck. Right above the women's locker room, in the ventilation. I just stuck, like Winnie the Pooh in his best years. And all twitching turned out to be useless, even complicated the task. My shirt also got stuck, clinging to some ledge. I've never understood flies as well as that moment, because my only way out, to yell, promised me a decent amount of kicks from everyone who gets me. But sticking out in the ventilation was not an option either. So I screamed. A half school led by the director and sports teachers ran to the noise. They started to get me out. Someone filmed that on cameras. Well, at least my erection went off. Otherwise, I would live with this reputation for the rest of my life. The girls squealed and called me all sorts of bad words. Anyway, a complete failure and destruction of my reputation at once. And then I was scolded in the principal's office with my parents and the board of senior teachers. They talked a lot about the morality of the students, about the fact that for my sake, I had to disassemble the ventilation, which cost the school decent money. A penalty was immediately hung up on my parents, and they wanted to expel me from school. But my dad, in turn, who told the principal, "My boy is not to blame, and anyway, it is the principal's job to close all the holes in the school ceiling." Then they secretly whispered to me that I was not the first to hang out in that ventilation, and even my brother was not the first. That mark with a marker on the grill was set almost by the peers of my dad. The only thing is, the rest did not fall so stupid. Like me, so to get me in the ears for depriving the buzz of the next generation. At home, my parents also yelled at my brother for such advice. But anyway, all the story ended well. I matured very quickly, and my parents connected fast internet to my room so that I could learn interesting things by myself, at least by video. Dad even showed me how to wipe out the browser history. Of course, it's a shame that it happened like that, But I know for sure that spying is no good, because some high school students gave me a boycott of bullying and have been actively trolling me for quite some time. They even came up with a nickname for me, but what can I do? I deserved it. I even wanted to change schools, because only the lazy one did not laugh at me. But like any sensation, my shame was quickly forgotten, because in the school-wide trash, I was not even in the 10th place of losers competition. And soon, I was simply overshadowed by another guy who did more crazy things, like running naked down the hallway and random sex in the teacher's toilet. Anyway, most students forgot everything quick enough, but my girls' classmates kept away from me for a long time and tried not to turn their backs on me, as if they were interesting to me then. I don't know if it was imagination or real fear, it's hard to say here. For example, our recognized beauties were more likely to flaunt than to be scared. But everything went on to the graduation. Unexpectedly for myself, although I did not get handsome, I turned out to be quite popular with girls. And as a result of painful choice, I danced in the company of two beauties of our class at the same time. They decided so themselves because they could not divide me. Now, everything is fine, with girls and anyway in life. I study at the university. I date a good girl. I had feelings for her. I don't know if what's happening to me can be called love, but at least I think not only with the spinal cord when I'm next to her, and I really want to make her happy. And I don't peep at women's locker rooms anymore. By the way, many of my classmates nevertheless grew up into those whom I looked at being a teacher. It just happened much later. So guys, look at your girlfriends from the same age now. Then they'll be taken apart. Why am I telling all this? Yeah, I suspect the generation of guys in ventilation is a fairly common occurrence, not only in our school. Therefore, I want to warn the girls. If your school also has ventilation, you cannot be completely sure no one is not spying on you. Fighting this or leaving it is up to you. I just warn you. Write in the comments if you also got caught by teachers doing stupid things, like guys who spied on girls at school. And guys, if you like girls, you know what I mean. Don't be too stupid. You better use special websites. It's safer for your reputation.